It says we're now live.
Okay, broadcast is live now. I think we usually wait, 3 or 4 seconds, and then we kind of jump right into it. That's right. We are live here, covering the eviction episode here for Big Brother on October 15th, 2020.
15.
Um, yeah, we are here
We're
talking
live.
about Memphis, R.I.P. Memphis. Little we knew you too. Little did we know you, Memphis. Too soon. Gone too soon. We didn't get to know you. That's the. But I'm here with my co-host Jaemeel Robinson. We are without our other co-host Dave Mader, who apparently thinks Star Trek is more important than Big Brother. Um, which it's not, especially Star Trek Discovery. But moving on, we are talking about this episode of Big Brother, where we kind of got a lot of teases again. It's the same old story here, Jamil. We keep getting teased that Enzo is going to be the guy that is gonna, shake things up, make Nicole make a decision on her, actually choose who to go home, or actually make any kind of strategical move whatsoever. And then he always doesn't do that and just goes with Cody. We saw Cody get all huffy and puffy with Memphis when they were playing pool. We saw that. What did you think of all that kind of stuff, Jamil?
I literally think that Enzo is CBS's favorite player or CBS's player. Like he's employed by CBS, and his only job is to take this boring of a season and every kind of Wednesday, Thursday, throw some kind of like, hey, maybe we should do everything the opposite of what is going to be straightforward and planned out. So they have something to do on Thursdays, all right, and they have something to broadcast for the first 20 minutes when ultimately they do nothing and go with the original plan, right? That's what he's been doing consistently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, maybe you're right. Maybe he's an undercover agent. He doesn't care about Big Brother. He just wants to get paid, and he's doing whatever he can to piss off the fans by doing nothing. Uh, I don't think. I think
Like
they should.
I
I
don't
honestly do.
understand the game.
I honestly do think Cody and Enzo should have evicted Christmas. Like, I don't understand why they evicted Memphis over Christmas. Maybe because Memphis was playing a little dirty, a little sloppy at the end there, and he pissed off Cody. And once you piss off Cody, you're gone. Is that right?
Well, at the very least, the idea of having Nicole making that final vote, like, are you afraid that Nicole's gonna go rogue? Like, let her get some blood on her hands, right? And like Memphis is not going to look poorly on Cody anyway. So, but yes, you're absolutely right. I do think they should have. Why not? I know I said previously that they should get out Memphis and uh, to keep Christmas, but I feel like we're especially now, kind of like hindsight is 2020. Like, do you think Memphis would have been able to succeed in this night moves challenge that's going to come up?
Maybe he is pretty smart strategically over some of the people he'd be competing against in that challenge, which would be Enzo and Cody. So it's really like who do better, Christmas or Memphis at that challenge? Probably Memphis. So maybe they did make the
Probably
right
Memphis.
choice.
So, for those who did not see, because we're just fresh off the episode ended with Julie um, playing a little video with Kazar being involved,
That's
and
crazy,
then
yo.
uh, it's crazy, yo. Was it Christmas and Enzo are like, what is this game? I don't even know what this game is. I have no clue what this game is. Uh, but Cody and Nicole both played it before, and they're just playing quiet. We got a comment already, so let me play it. I assume that is from Dave. Right, Dave. We wish you
Yeah.
well tonight on your Discovery episode. Well, not Jeff. Jeff does not wish you well. I wish you well.
Well, I
and
I would say I
um,
don't wish him well. I just say it's not as important as Big Brother, and I think he's He's letting down the franchise here.
Well, thankfully, me and you are here to keep the fires burning while he's
he,
away and at war.
he thinks Live Long and Podcast is more important than Super Mario Bros. Podcasting, but I think Super Mario Bros. Podcasting may have more views. So I mean, get your priorities straight. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, concerning his comment about the cowboy beats and denim, Nicole wants to show that she's a good country girl, so she has to break it out this
Yeah,
season. So I think that was it. She's not going to be competing, so of course she's going to be in her southern casual
you know what
outfit.
was she was not happy probably that Kaser was the one introducing the HOH. Why is it always
I wish it
Janelle
was
and
Janelle.
Kaser?
I wish it
Why?
was Janelle.
That would have been better if it was Janelle.
And then
They got the
Janelle would have just like put subtle digs in there, like this competition is gonna be the bomb shell of a competition.
right.
You know, it's like, ooh, Nicole's gameplay has been pretty sloppy all season, but let's see how she does in this competition.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Well,
All right.
Nicole's not even playing. Well, Nicole wouldn't even be playing, so she'd have to like stand by, all right, and just kind of be quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think overall of the Christmas and Nicole kind of getting together? It's like Memphis and Enzo. It kind of feels like 2 versus 2, but with like a bridge between Cody and Nicole going to this
Yeah.
final four.
Um,
That's how
like
I kind of look at it.
the the only way Nicole like feels bad or feels like she's in from her perspective is if Enzo somehow gets power and therefore she won't be able to decide to keep uh, Cody and Christmas, or if because if Cody wins, he's gonna keep Christmas, not Christmas, sorry, he's gonna keep Nicole and Enzo, right? So she's just kind of hoping that okay, Christmas wins, I'm still gonna be good because she's probably gonna cut either Cody or Enzo. She's gonna keep me. So I want as many bullets in my gun as possible to be able to get farther in the game. And chances are, right, you don't want to leave it up to chance. And Enzo is the one that she doesn't really have a good grasp on.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Uh, I don't know. I just see the way I see it is if like Enzo or Cody win, I don't really see how Christmas doesn't go home next week unless she wins the veto. If she wins the veto, then all of a sudden someone big could go home. The veto's pretty important next week. I mean, it's the most important veto of the season. The final four veto. Does Nicole get to play HOH this round?
No, she doesn't play
She does,
HOH this round. She plays HOH the next one.
but she gets to play for
Everyone
veto.
plays in HOH.
But she
Yeah,
gets to play for
she will.
yeah.
She gets to play for veto. So I'm kind of wondering, like, we're not going to get. Every week I kept on going. Well, this week they're going to do the slip and slide. No slip and slide this season. No slip and slide. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see night moves come back.
Slip and slide's
I
not
always like the sniper jump.
yeah, night moves will be cool. Like yeah, like bringing back the old school stuff. I'm surprised by that. Maybe it's like I think I feel every time every competition though I always feel like it's COVID. Like the reason why they didn't do it or they did this one is because of COVID. It's a
I
slip and
guess
slide, a lot of
slip and slide
germs.
is probably, yeah, and it's probably very hard to clean up, and they don't want to spend that much time with a lot of like liquid, or like they probably did it for just for OTEV, and that was like they were like, okay, we're done. Or even OTEV, it didn't have a lot of liquid. They did it for their endurance comp with the
Yeah,
spray, the water
right.
during two of them, and they're like, we're good. We've
Yeah,
done we've done our big
we-
cleanups.
we've filled our quota here. What did you think, Jameel, about the whole? uh jury segment. Basically, it was half the episode was the jury segment of the episode. So like, let's just start with
Honestly,
like, isn't it really like, so like it's like really bad acting? It's like, oh, who do you think's going to be walking through that door? I don't know, but I think it might be one of the big players. Maybe Cody, maybe Tyler. And it's like, oh, it's Tyler. And he's like, hey guys, want to just go like watch it so I don't have to explain it to you? All right. And then they go into like a backyard gazebo area, but they were by the pool before or something. It feels like they went to a different house. And then they sit
yeah.
down, they watch it, which like I always feel like a little bit painful. Do you feel this a little bit like everybody's got to watch everybody's demise, like all gather around here, jury, and
Well,
and watch this? Like,
well, first off, Tyler looks like Weird Al Yankovic with that
he
that
does.
t-shirt he had on. That massive t-shirt and the long, just stringy hair. I'm like, what the hell? And the mopey look he had on his face.
He he
Look,
never looked more
Jury
white
House
to
is
me. He was so white. He was so pale, and he was just like, I'm like, man, you haven't seen enough sun. I feel like he lost a lot of his tan.
yeah. He needs to get back in that shape, that sun kissed shape for Angela.
He
He
looked
needs
like
to
he
make sure he's
was.
spending his time.
Yeah, like he looked like he was more on the same page of like Ian. Like he was as white as Ian, and he's not used. He's usually a little more orange.
He is like, look at us,
Yeah,
buddies. We got the
yeah.
same complexion. Oh my gosh.
He's like, I gotta get back to Angela, man. This isn't working, man. Like he cried more than Devon did when
Yeah.
when he saw Angela, and Devon saw her kid. I mean, it's not really the same. I don't know. He was a little
So
over the
wait,
top.
so is is Tyler gonna look at himself and then look at Kevin and go, wait, Kevin, are you black? Right? What's the
Yeah.
compare? He's like, holy shoot, you are black. Oh my
I,
gosh.
as long as
Yeah.
he
Um,
As long as he does one of those.
I didn't. Um, what was interesting was yes, the family reactions. I thought that was kind of cute. I don't know. Until I'm in that situation, I always find these segments overtly sentimental, and I'm like, wait, it's only been 2 months, like 2 months and change. Like, I don't know. I'm a I don't think I would react that way. I'll be like, "Oh, cool. There's my blah blah blah." Or, like, it's good to see you. It's good that you're in health. I didn't get any message, so I hope you're enjoying your time of solitude. Probably, leaving the bathroom door open. Got you. It's cool, right? Um,
Mhm.
hey kids, you are enjoying dad's cooking, or right, granny's cooking. uh don't get used to it. You're gonna come back and eat my terrible food. I don't know if Devon could cook or not, but still, it's that type of thought process, right? Angela's probably well, I would say Angela's having girls nights, but COVID kind of puts a wrinkle in those things. um David with his dog,
I feel like
Kevin with
David,
his
yes.
kid.
Can we talk about David with his dog and his pops? He's the one that stood out the most to me of all these people being all stars. They all have like significant others, or they have kids, or they have, like, and then David's like, I feel like he's the guy that should have been on the newbie season with, he's single, ready to mingle, but none of these other people are. Like, he so does not fit in with this cast.
everyone, everyone has wife, kids, or or significant others, and he's like, "Yeah, that's my dog." So the
Listen,
same thing, like, okay, what happens when it's family visit time, or like we're gonna show your home and show how people miss you, right? What are they gonna do? They're just gonna show my basement and all my Funko Pops, and I'm like, "Oh, I miss you. Oh, look at that. Oh, it looks still pristine in box. Oh." Right? I don't know. Like, once again, I'm not overtly sentimental when it comes to these things. So that's
right.
why same thing, Survivor, same thing. When
Yes.
like I'm not going to be the person that my family members are bring to the island, even though I would love the experience. because that whole having to run towards them and be like, "Oh, I miss you." I'll be like, "Hey, man, it's good to see you. Hey,
That's how
do I
I'd
have to
be
run?"
too.
Like,
But I feel like if it's your wife, you have to like make this emotional like moment and make it like a TV moment. But like
you have to
when it,
fake it.
you'll have to, yeah, because you can't go like, "Hey, what's up, wife? You know how the kids, you know, how's the how the lunch is going, you know, like high five, you know." I don't think you can do that on TV. You have to go in for the kiss and do the whole thing. But
Yeah,
if it's
you
like
get the
you're,
onions. You got
it would
onion,
be
onion, the onion water by the
it,
eyes.
it would be hilarious if somebody just was like, yeah, high fiving it or doing the hug and just went like, "Hey, great,
Johnny
how you doing?"
Fairplay with his best friend coming over
Yeah, that was great. That
because
was
I don't
fun.
remember him running.
No.
But yeah, like okay, so um, really, I guess what they want, they like to me, this just seemed like a time fill because they're outside the house, right? They can have, I don't know, monitored communication, I guess, but I guess they don't. Like, how hard is it to get like a letter, right? Or something that just says, "Hey, everyone's okay." You can see them. "Hey, don't show me anything that could impact my voting." Right? Just let me know how school is, kind of
Do you
thing.
think Memphis was
I
blindsided?
don't care.
Do you think do you think Memphis was blindsided tonight?
Did it look like he was blindsided?
Not to me.
I didn't feel like.
Yeah, but he did.
I didn't.
He kind of he did kind of act a little like he was a little snotty out the door, wasn't he? Wasn't he kind of like,
Sorry,
"Oh, good luck,
I
guys. You're
couldn't
gonna
tell the
need it," or
difference.
something?
I couldn't tell the difference between regular, um, you know, typical uh, s- attitude of Memphis. It just seemed like similar Memphis, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
I don't
I
know.
mean, I just think I don't know. It seemed like he kind of had like a chip on his shoulder or whatever walking out the door. Wasn't sure if that was a thing that like if he was like a little pissed off walking out.
Possibly. Um, so I'm just checking to see YouTube. I don't think YouTube is on. Um, yeah, it's not on for us. I
Look,
don't know why.
it's okay.
It's supposed to start in 9:20.
we can always
I guess
repost
so.
it to
This is
the
my
Facebook.
first time running it. First time running it, and I'm like, oh, I got Facebook working, and I just feel disappointed. I let the Mader brothers down. Dave's off in Discovery Land, you know, and I'm here holding down the fort for you guys to try to bring forth and make sure this maintains the better of the two podcasts, right? And
Yeah.
what I do, I drop the ball. I drop the
You that
ball. I
well,
fumble.
yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'll listen to you drop the ball any day over a Discovery podcast. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
you're
I
welcome.
appreciate it.
And I'm
Okay.
not alone there. I think Kevin Millard would be there with me. I think Jody would be there with me. But moving on. We're talking here about this episode. It seemed like this was basically a half and half jury episode and a little bit of what was going on in the house, but not much really. I mean, it was a lot of like teasing here with Enzo and whether or not he was going to split the vote. That didn't happen. Should have. Would have been a lot more fun to watch. But no, we never get
It
what we
would
want
have.
in this house. Yeah, it would have
It
been a
would have
little fun
definitely.
just to see
Let
Nicole
him
squirm.
squirm.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Enzo
I'm
just, I
like
don't know.
I'm telling you,
That's
I'm
it, yo.
disappointed.
I'm disappointed too. I just don't think he
That's it.
like cares. I don't think he cares. I think he just is like I don't think he cares if he wins or like where he finishes or anything. Because he's not
He
playing
just
like he
follows
needs to win.
whatever.
Yeah, like he's not like they said it tonight in the jury house. Like Enzo is not like he needs to like grab the game by the throat and he just won't do it.
He's like, yes, I'm playing the best second place game possible.
He's playing the
Right? Or sorry,
Troyzan
third
game.
place game. Third place game.
Yeah, the Troyzan game.
Uh, I, I don't know. it's kind of at this point it's kind of frustrating. It's getting to me. Like I'm
The
just like do
Enzo,
something.
yeah, the Enzo game from season 12.
Uh, sorry, I'm getting messages from people like, "Where is it on YouTube now?" The moment I call it out, now everyone is like, "Why is it not working on YouTube?" So I just shoot it over the Facebook. Sorry, YouTube folks, you're gonna be watching this on a delay. I apologize. Maybe next time. But uh, um, I'm still glad that you guys are watching. So we're gonna continue on. Jury House. We were talking about the Jury House,
Yeah.
and we were mentioning how people are reacting to it. Lot of positive feelings towards Cody and his gameplay.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that? How'd you feel about the reaction about Cody's gameplay?
I mean, I guess there's it's you got to cling to something as a jury member. You got to say somebody's playing well, and he's really the only person who is. So I get it. Is that how you feel about it? Like,
Yeah,
is it kind of like I understand why, but Danny's a little hard. She's a little hard on for Cody.
yeah. Like what I said last time, she's absolutely completely forgiven him for
Yeah,
what happened and went down.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't know if she's gonna sign. They didn't really ask the any Nicole questions, but um, she is definitely letting Cody get like float on by regarding that what happened that time. But like they're stating facts, you know. Cody has what his sixth comp win, his sixth comp win.
Hmm.
That's what they're saying. He's won
Yeah,
6 comps already, by
yeah.
far the most. Because what, um, and that was yeah, 6 comp wins, and what Memphis only had what 4? No, he had 3 HOHs. He said in this thing that he had 3 HOHs, but I believe
Mm,
Mary said that he only had 2.
I think that's right too.
So yeah, so he got his number wrong. Possibly. Like he's won 2 vetoes and 2 HOHs, right? That was my impression of how he's been doing so far. So
Yeah, it really doesn't matter now. He's out of the game. I mean,
doesn't matter now. Which
no.
I'm just fact checking quickly. He actually did win 3 HOHs.
Yeah, because he won one of the triples, right?
Yeah, so week 2, week 7, and uh, week 8. So who went out on his week?
Nicole Anthony, David. And I don't know what the other one was.
Yeah, Nicole, um, Devon, right,
Oh, Davon.
and David.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
didn't
who
know he got
he
to.
got a murderer's row of high impact targets that he got rid of.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Which he and he could have gotten up bigger targets if he wanted to.
but that wasn't part of the plan, yo.
Yeah, the plan was to come
That was
fifth.
basically
The plan for Memphis was to come fifth place.
yep.
What a great plan!
What can you do?
What a plan he put together at the week 1, week 2. Put that alliance together, and he ensured himself fifth place. Brilliant,
Well,
best
he
gameplay.
made his own.
Really, he knew exactly what he wanted, and he got
Yeah, he got it. Lahu Zahir.
it.
L- like I when I picked the dude. I felt like, hey, uh, we're gonna see something. He's gonna make some moves. He's a casual dude, and you see his social game in terms of like really bonding with individuals, and people put a lot of trust in him. He gets a lot of information, right? The missing component that I thought was gonna happen was he's gonna put into action, right? He was gonna he was gonna take his time, do what Memphis was doing, which was there's a time that you lead and a time that you step back, right, and you let
Hmm.
other people lead for you, right, And all he did, even when it was his HOH, he never led, right? What mark did he make in the game? All he did was like he was a passenger, like a messenger pigeon, right? He just took information from one source and skirted over and gave it to Cody, right? Right? That's all he did.
Yeah, he did. Cody was seemed to be just be able to run everybody's HOH, no matter who it was, and that's why Cody's like been like the player of the season. But it doesn't even seem like Cody worked that hard to get that. It just seemed like it just naturally fell in his lap in a lot of ways, through
But
other relationships.
we can't blame Cody for that because if other people
No,
don't want to do right,
well, you could
it's
say that
like
about a couple years ago though too with Paul. Like everybody just did what Paul said, no matter what Paul did. He was going to get to the end, and then he did, and he still lost, which could still happen with Cody. But Cody
true.
is better at. He's a lot more self aware than Paul was.
Yes, that is true. Um, did you get anything else from the like, I look forward to the jury house because this is where a good portion of the players I do actually care about actually resides. So when I get to the jury house and there is like this formulaic, um, barely any like hot takes or like these people are out of the game. Like stop playing like you have to be sanitized, and it just seems so boring. Like we like what was Ian's contribution to this was
Ian could not have been more disinterested in the whole segment. Like it was, he was just rocking too. Like in his, like I know he has autistic, but like and he's just sitting there. I feel like he's just like, and when his girl there came on the screen, he was just like, oh god, I just want to I just want to get out of here. You can
I
see it
just
on
want to
his
get out of there.
face. I just want to
How
leave.
much longer do I still have to do this?
Yeah.
It was basically the reaction that I was getting from him. Um and you know what? To be honest, I don't blame him because I was kind of like, "Are we done with this? Like, are we done with this?" And this
Oh,
is the part that I was looking forward to.
right. Right. And we only have to deal with this for couple hours every week. Yeah, it's 24/7 for him.
Okay, so we got a comment from Mary.
Mm.
Why do you all think they showed the family video and not the house, the BB house? Um,
Oh, okay.
because there was
I
nothing
don't know.
unless they want to talk about what Memphis and Christmas were doing, which they never brought up.
Yes. Yes. That would have been what they would have shown instead of the family stuff. But they're not gonna make it scandalous. Not in 2020. They don't want the news. The news is bad right now. You don't want the news around you in 2020.
Yeah.
So the BB house,
Um,
yeah, that was the only other thing they could have talked about, really, in the house. I mean, come on, like,
you know what? Too bad, too sad. Right? If you guys want to be casual, you don't do it on a game show that's like shown like to a large audience. So why do I think they did it? Because they're competing as a family show and they're trying to step away from any type of scandal. So that's why this season has been pretty much sanitized. Sanitized. I honestly think that they made sure and they coached the people so that they wouldn't say anything stupid. But Memphis got a Memphis and Christmas got a Christmas. Um, and they left them to their devices. They kept it as straight of a Big Brother game as possible, and unfortunately, due to it, it was not the better. It's not better because they did that at all. Um,
that's true.
yeah.
I can definitely see that.
I wish they did. I wish they did something else, like anything at this point.
I just think the cast was never good from the get go, and it just wasn't the right mix of all stars to make a good season. And which now it's just the game's too long. Like honestly, it's like 9 days or whatever the hell they play. It's too long. Make it like 75 days. Get move it on, move
You
on.
want like a celebrity BB type of
No, it's just
type
don't
of
make it
situation.
100 days. 100 days is too much. Like BB should not be going into October. Like BB should be over the second week of like September.
Yeah,
Once summer ends,
but
like I think BB should end when summer ends.
I always do like the idea of um like having these reality shows kind of like fit in place, like uh as Big Brother's ending, the Amazing Race starts up, and then it goes on for a couple weeks, and then Survivor starts until its winter finale, and then we kind of have a break, uh, and they show like a new reality series, and then you have Survivor again in like March, and then you also have uh, Big Brother Canada starting up, right? That finishes off, and then you have Big Brother US again, and you start the cycle all over again. I like that. That to me is like that's a sweet spot you want to hit, right? So,
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
okay, alrighty. Um, okay, so Memphis gets voted out, right? And I was kind of curious with the conversation that Julie had with Memphis. So, as I mentioned before, no talk about their relationship, and then two,
Yeah,
also no comments about his like fascination with David.
no, no. Memphis's interview was odd. What did you make of Memphis's interview with Julie?
It just seems so. That seems scripted. That seems
Yeah,
so scripted.
yeah. It's.
So
I I
sanitized.
I honestly feel like Memphis is like I don't understand why he got onto like reality television or like I just feel like he's like one of these guys that like is not good at like selling himself, doesn't care to sell himself. Even though this guy's like like a restaurant owner or something, I don't know. Like he's just not like that's what Big Brother and like being on these shows is all about. It's like sell yourself. Like
He
I don't.
reeks as a Survivor player. He reeks as a Survivor player, where he's going to be coached and it's time for his confessionals, and they're like, Memphis, talk about being a restaurant owner and how it applies to your approach of the game. Hi, I'm Memphis. I'm in this game, and he's going to be talking really loud over like the water in the background. Like that's the type of like
Mhm.
player that I see him as.
Right, he'd
So
be better in
um
Survivor. I agree. Yeah, Big Brother. I just
yeah,
thought
just
I don't know. He's too sullen and he's too like I don't know. Like he doesn't have like the joie de vivre for the game. I don't feel like.
I love it. Um, okay, because I thought Enzo would have loved to see his kids. Regarding the earlier comment that Mary had regarding why did they show the family to
Uh,
the jury house versus showing
hmm.
the family videos to the people in the house.
What do you think?
Um, and I that's a good question because I would have figured they would have been like, we got to get Victor, we got to get Victor on people want to see Victor. That's our
Oh,
big brother kind of relationship that we kind of want
but
to
dude,
hammer home and advertise.
I don't feel like they want to do that. They want to bring on Kaser and they want to bring on Janelle and they want like so I don't know like
Does
who would they
does it
get?
seem very gimmicky that they brought him back?
A little. Yeah, it was a little weird. Wasn't
It's
it?
like, wait, couldn't they like they couldn't ask anyone else who is an all star? They already got Doctor Will. You couldn't get well Dan, or I understand if they're gonna use night moves that they're gonna be like, okay, let's get Kesar back because it's his comp,
Right.
right? But once again, like you're putting yourself in this position. Like, yes, it was case one of Kesar's biggest moves. Get someone else who was involved with it to talk about it.
Yeah.
Why
I-
isn't all of the competitions, all of the head of households, a throwback to an important
It should have been.
um, HOH challenge that was remembered, and they can play a little history, right? Like Survivor Winners at War, almost every single challenge was we did this challenge in season blah 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 and blah blah blah, and this person competed in it, right?
Right.
There was a tie to history, right? And they're like, you as a watcher would be, oh, this is interesting, I wonder if they're going to perform as well as they did last time,
Hmm.
right? Wait, I want to go back and look on CBS All Access to see how blah 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 did in this competition and Survivor Marquesas or something. Like once again, you're tying it into the history of the show, and this this season, which was supposed to be an all-star season, really didn't put the care into the history of Big Brother, right? You have a lot of new viewers, right? Educate them on the history of the show. Like as boring as baseball is to me a lot of the time, one thing you
Hmm.
can say is they do an excellent job of reiterating the history of baseball,
Right.
why certain things are important, right? Same thing with hockey. Hockey does a great job, right? And
Hmm.
has been, as of late, I think their marketing team has been fantastic in doing so. Basketball is trying to get there as well. Some teams are better than others, like the Toronto media team has been pretty excellent in terms of detailing their history and making sure it's at the forefront of people's memory. And that's important for the show. You want to build a legacy. All Stars is only as important as you make the past important. Otherwise, who cares? Just bring new people in.
Yeah, it's true. I don't think they put enough time and energy into this season. I don't feel like they had enough time to prepare. I don't feel like they really got the cast they wanted. Everything about this All Star season kind of sucked because it was a letdown. It could have been so much better.
Yeah. So, okay, here's another reason why this makes me angry about their approach and not really referencing the past as much. What footage do you need? All the footage is in your archives.
Yeah,
It's not like
exactly.
you have to like you have to film more stuff. You just have to edit what you have
Yeah,
and just you can provide more content, right? Why isn't there like, hey, the current cast is going to talk about their favorite moments on in Big Brother history, right? Why isn't that brought up? Or um why isn't the one of the competitions, I'm surprised they didn't do that, where the competition is know your Big Brother history, um
hmm
in, you know, we've shown you this specific challenge done multiple times throughout the year. You have to answer questions about how people did in it, right? So look, one of the challenges that always appears every so often that's consistent is one of my favorite, which is slip and slide,
right,
right? There's various variations of it. Same thing with OTAV. Why not have a challenge where it's like we showed you, um, you know, five different iterations of slip and slide. You have to answer a question, right? Who went for the money? Name one of the people that went for the money in slip and slide, right? And then they would have to name the person, right?
right.
I don't want to like to take over another saying, but say their names, say the past people's names, right? You could make David important if you kind of tie him into history, right? Has there been another player before that hasn't had a real good run their first time around and found success their second time around? Maybe he can be the first one. He could be like an inspiration. You could have had a multitude of people who were first or second out and say, "Hey, Glenn, are you pulling for David?" And he would be like, "Yes, I'm pulling for David because I never got a real shot at Big Brother. I got voted out in night one, and you know, although I am jealous of him and his position of being able to play again, right? I really hope that he succeeds because I could kind of like believe like I would be playing through him." Right? Same thing with Jody. Like you can make things important by how you present it. And for some things, Big Brother does a great job. For other things, they just don't care.
Yeah,
Right. And
it's true.
you're absolutely right. They dropped the ball in this season completely.
Yeah, just no preparation, no real care and love and attention. I think maybe the people running it are kind of been burnt out doing the same thing over and over and over and over. And yeah, they're just kind of recycling the same show. We get the same show every year. Uh, that's true in Survivor too, but at least the character is always kind of at least a little bit better or kind of change, and you can kind of get into that. But in Big Brother right now, like they need to kind of like tweak some rules and tweak some things, maybe the length of the seasons, and just kind of get it a little more exciting. And pay homage to the past and do the right things and just put some time and care and effort into, especially an All Star season.
If you asked a casual fan, can you name 5 winners of Big Brother? I think once they get to 4, they'll kinda struggle,
Mm, sure.
right? They'll say what? Snackson, um, Nicole, um, Doctor Will,
Hmm.
and then
Dan,
and then it starts petering out, right? Because, like, who who is Diggy
Rachel
gonna
Riley,
say,
Rachel
right?
Riley.
Maybe, right? But I'm just saying it's once you get to the tail end, it's gonna be a lot
Hmm.
harder for the casual ones. Right?
Yeah. No,
And
I agree.
they
Yeah, for
don't
sure.
do a good enough job. I think they promote like Jeff and Jordan more than they have the winners. And that just shows you what they believe is more important, right?
Right. Right.
Showmances and personalities versus like people who play like really great games, right? And
Right.
sometimes they luck out and they get someone like a Dr. Will or a Dan who is like um flashy and such, but Andy ain't coming back again, and Andy ain't coming through that door, as they say. So
Yeah, for sure. And they do find people that kind of, yeah, straddle those lines and are good, and but at the same time, like most of those people lately have kind of been annoying or just not been rootable. Whereas in the past, they were a little bit more rootable, or you could get on their side, or some people couldn't. Maybe some people hated those people, like a Dr. Will or Dan or whoever. Um, for me, it was just now the most recent seasons. I don't like this big group think. I don't like the big alliance. I kind of would like some sort of a system where they could avoid that and not battle of the block or anything like that. But I don't know, maybe coaches or maybe some sort of, I don't know, some sort of veto thing too. Like stop having so many people play in the veto, stuff like that. Um, would be a little bit more
do you like the
interesting.
Big Brother Canada where HOH can't play DeVito?
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no,
Like
that would
change
just
up the
go.
game is what you're saying.
Yeah, change it up, change up the rules a little bit because I think the rules are stagnant.
Yeah. And Mary also agrees with us. Mary, and Jeff, I'll get your thoughts too. What would you do to change the game? And I know I already previously talked about this, about how it would incorporate more Big Brother UK and Big Brother Canada rules, just so that there's a little bit of more elements where it's not in the player's control. Um, I do like the idea of players controlling their own destiny, but at a certain point, uh, the ground has become so level that there's no real massive challenge uh, outside of the other players. Right? There should be the players that are a challenge and also the game. Right? Those two. So we got a message from Daryl Clark. Right? The commish. What happens when Christmas wins HOH? That will throw a wrench in the Cody Enzo final too. Um,
She's not gonna win.
it'll be bad. It'll be bad news for possibly Enzo. I think. I don't know if Christmas is gonna vote out Cody. So from Cody's perspective, that's fine if she wants to get rid of Enzo, and from Nicole's perspective, this is great. So not much loss off of his back, and Enzo's not going to voice his concern to the point where anything's going to be done.
Is there
So
any scenario in the final four here where Nicole goes home.
There's any scenario, if Nicole goes home?
Yeah, in this final four, is there any scenario where she goes home? So let's say Cody wins HOH, right? He puts up. Who's he going to put up? Enzo and Christmas, and hope
Um,
make Nicole vote out Christmas.
um,
Is Enzo going to trust
ooh, that's a
that? What
um,
this final four is
ooh.
huge because like if Enzo wins the HOH, he's going to put up Nicole and Christmas, and one of them will be gone, and Cody will get to pick. And then Enzo, I mean, if Christmas wins, yeah, then Enzo and Cody will go on the block, and Nicole will get to pick who goes home.
So once again, like the only thing that the HOH does this time around is get to be safe. Whoever has the actual veto is the one with all the power in this
Right,
week.
right, for sure.
So so you're playing for immunity, and the hope is next time you get the veto too, so that you can kind of
Right,
control your own destiny,
right.
right? And then you get to choose who gets to vote. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so Mary's like, I think they should get an incentive for no big alliances. Uh,
Mm.
I can understand that. One of the ways they can do that is if there is a very one-sided vote. Um, there's or if one-sided votes are avoided, then more money goes into the pot, right? So it's like, hey, you can win 400,000, but you can win 600,000 if you guys go through a variety of weeks without having unanimous or like 7-2 votes, right? That will encourage people to like, hey, you know what, maybe I should go into business for myself if I think I'm going to get to the end, whether it be a hinky vote or like I'm going to speak a little bit more freely,
Should
right?
Big Brother do something like Survivor did, where they had the fire tokens? And should there be some sort of a token system here in Big Brother? Maybe
um,
you could buy
Mary's liking these ideas.
you could buy yourself off slop.
Yeah,
So you can buy yourself out
like
of being a have not. You could maybe buy yourself out of way. Maybe buy a veto, or something like that.
I would say, I wouldn't say buy yourself a veto. I would say that you would need fire tokens to do certain stuff. So you compete to win fire tokens.
Right.
You can use the fire tokens for food, right? For a specific food that you want, right? So you're bringing back the household arrangements, right? The the food arrangements, right? Where people like, hey, I want to make sloppy joes this week. I'm gonna get the meat. I need someone who gets the buns. Can you use a fire token? And then Enzo goes into business. Is like, no, sorry, man. I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of tea bags for myself, right? Instead, to kind of just ruffle. Like once again, anytime where you can put people in opposition to each other is great. It's great television. At the same time, you have like a game system where for everyone to be able to have a chance to compete in the veto, you have to put a token in. If you didn't win a token this week, sorry, too bad, too sad. You don't have a chance. So the only people that get to automatically be in the veto are, let's say, HOH and the two people on the block,
Mm.
right? And then everyone else has to put in a token for a chance to play in the veto, right? So when you're looking for your your what's it called again, your Sunday show, right? You
Yeah.
have your HOH at the beginning of it, and then at the end of it, you have your fire token challenge, and also your nominations. And that episode is all there. You go. That is your episode. And then Tuesday or Wednesday is your veto, and then Thursday is your eviction,
Yep.
right?
That would work.
That seems interesting. And then people who like what is popular right now? Fantasy. fantasy football, right? Fantasy
Mm.
baseball, gamify Big Brother. People like, what are people going to order this time? Who's going to be competing this week in the veto, right?
All
Right.
right,
Big
gambling.
Brother Canada does a
Put
really
this on.
great job.
Put this on the money line. Enzo on the money line to win the season.
Okay. Or something, someone else to be have nots. Yes, 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 absolutely. Right? Or no showers once again, right? If you can throw like barriers in people's way, right? Where you kind of see like Cody and you're like, um, I have an opportunity to give up 2 fire tokens that I've been kind of saving, or that I won in a secret challenge, and it'll take 3 fire tokens to have Cody not be to have Cody on slop or not have a shower this week. I might not be able to compete for veto for about a week or two, but at the very least, this might prevent him from really getting some food in his belly and being able to win HOH, and that'll be great for my side, right? Like let's rethink how we wanna approach this game, right? And like, okay, I know people are like purists. You have like Taryn from Rob as a podcast, stating that he wants like a very straightforward, non-interference game, but I don't think this is interfering with the game. I think this is taking the original premise of the game and just updating it to modern times, right? You're still putting the emphasis on how people are interacting with each other, right? It's not stupid battle of the block, which is useless. This thing will actually encourage people to do things, right? And at the same time, it's going to cause tension. It's going to cause tension with food. It's going to cause tension with competitions and vetoes and HOHs and how people are interacting with each other in the house. Thank Mary. You just fixed the game. You need to get a job with CBS.
Yep, fix this. Fix this show.
Yeah, more time, right? Um,
Yeah.
so, uh,
Lots of ideas. Lots of ideas to go around here on how to make Big Brother better. I think mostly it comes down to casting for me, and I think they just kind of don't cast. Survivor 2 they don't cast the characters enough anymore. I mean, they have a few of them like who stand out, like a Tony or will come out, and but they need more people like that. Big personalities is what makes these reality TV shows good for the most part, right?
yeah, yeah, big personality. Like Russell was a get.
Yeah,
Russell was actually a get in the grand scheme of things. Like that him as a character was just so super polarizing, and people enjoyed
yeah,
watching the dude.
for sure, for sure.
It's
But
great.
like sometimes, like when you watch, like, but watching Boston Rob play his Redemption Island season against Russell was one of those, like, kind of like now the way, because it started like the most boring seasons to watch because it's more predictable. And you can, it's kind of like watching LeBron James win the NBA championship. You're like, you're good, but whatever. You know, it's like, you know,
You're good, but whatever.
yeah, kind of. You know, it's just like, yeah, he did good. You know, like, but it's kind of like what we're talking about with Cody right now. It's just like, yeah, I mean, you're done well, but like, did you really work that hard? Were you ever in trouble throughout this whole season? No. You know,
Look,
how it,
he's absolutely right. He's going to go through the game and he's not going to be touch the block. He's not going to sniff it
he's not even gonna sniff it.
because I actually think he's going to. I think he's going to win HOH.
Even if he doesn't, I don't think he's going home. You know,
True.
I think even if like Christmas won it and wanted to get out Cody, Cody would win the veto, and then like Enzo would go home or something.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Absolutely.
I think Cody's making the final two. It's just a matter who sits beside him. That's kind of how I feel. Unless he
Okay.
goes, unless he goes home here at the final three, he might get cut like for somebody, and like if like Nicole took Enzo or something. Like, do you buy that argument Enzo said today? He's like, no way, Nicole's beating me or you, Cody or Enzo. Do you buy that argument? Do you think Nicole could beat Enzo or Cody?
Do I think do I think who can beat Enzo and Cody? Christmas?
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
think
Chris- do I think Christmas can beat Enzo
no,
Cody?
no,
Um
can Enzo beat Nicole no, does Nicole beat Enzo in the final two? Nicole beat Enzo.
I don't think so.
No, I do.
I don't think you do. I don't think
Yeah.
so.
I don't think
As
Enzo
much as
has
I feel
enough
like
cred.
it depends. Once again, it depends on if how he got there was getting rid of Cody.
But what if Nicole got rid of Cody? I just took Enzo.
Then Nicole won.
All right, well, we'll see.
Okay, I want you to paint me a picture of how what happens.
They go to the final three.
Okay, paint me a picture.
It's Cody, Nicole, Enzo in the final three. Nicole wins
So
the
who wins
final
HOH? Who wins HOH this game?
uh,
This week?
this week. Let's say it's Enzo, and he gets out Christmas.
Whew.
Okay,
Who won POV to do that?
Cody.
Cody or he did?
Cody. Let's
Okay,
say it was
Cody.
Cody. That's my
Okay.
prediction.
Yep.
Okay, so and then it goes to the next week, and it's the final three. And I think Nicole, like let's say Nicole wins the final three, part three of the HOH, wins the HOH, and takes Enzo to the end, and not Cody.
Yeah, Nicole would win.
I think so.
And and the reason for that is because Enzo had his shot, right? And he let it slide. He let it slide. He we would have had his shot at Cody, right? And everyone would be like, "You dropped the ball. You had your opportunity to get rid of Cody, and I probably would have respected you and voted for you, but no."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I see it. Not good. Not good. Um, I don't
Okay.
know. I'm kind of looking forward to see what happens. I kind of wish we had live feeds, but whatevs.
We
We're gonna
don't.
know at like midnight. We're gonna know at midnight approximately who won HOH, and once we know who won HOH, pretty much the week is set.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. It'll be
Okay.
exciting though. Final four. So I guess we'll catch you back here. Is it on Monday?
So yes, so next week it will be Monday, October the 19th. We have find out who the HOH is, or I should say, find out. We will talk about who the HOH is,
Right.
and then we would have our next episode would be on October the 21st, which will be the veto, and then once again we'll be back here on October the 22nd to talk about the the eviction before the final three, and I guess the beginning of the final three, the final HOH, right? Which will eventually lead to finale night on October 28th, where we will see who is going to be the winner of Big Brother All Stars uh, 2 season 22. Please check out Super Mader Bros. Going to be podcasting Monday, Wednesday, Thursday with Big Brother. You could, if you felt so inclined, to check out the sister podcast, Live
Yes.
Long and Podcast,
Yes.
where they do recaps on Tuesdays for Deep Space Nine, Wednesdays for the original series,
Mhm.
Thursday now for Discovery, and then um, on the weekends. So, for example, it's Friday or is going to be Saturday this week for Radio Theater.
Saturday for sure.
Saturday. So Saturday is Star Trek Radio Theater. So they take a classic episode and then they go ahead and do like a radio show. Might be different voices. You might hear the Macho Man come back,
Oh
right?
yeah! Can you dig it?
So this week's episode is it in the flesh?
In the flesh, yeah. Star Trek Voyager season 5.
It's Voyager.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's HCC 472.
I don't have the picture. I don't have the
No,
picture.
no, well, we're not that
So
advanced over here at Super Mader Bros Podcasting. We slum it a little bit, but we know we get by. We do our best.
goodbye.
And,
And then also there is a sister podcast, a third podcast,
mm,
which is Trivial Debates, which
right.
is like
That's more of
a
a
debate
cousin.
show. Uh,
That's a cousin.
cousin,
Yeah, that's a cousin
cousin.
podcast.
Right. It's
Yeah.
it's typically on the last Sunday of the month.
Hmm.
So you're gonna start seeing more information about who the players are involved and who's hosting. More or less next week, you're gonna see everything kind of materialize. So check that out. Everything is cross post when you go to the pages and click on the links. Uh, the folks in our chat, Mary, Daryl, thank you for spending the time with us
Yes.
and communicating with us. We greatly appreciate it.
Hmm.
Hanhart, um, Jeff, it's always a pleasure to talk Big Brother with you. It's
Yes, you
always
too.
great.
Yeah.
Any closing remarks?
No. You know what? Expect the unexpected. Treasure. Everything. What does Julie say? It's if those who judge
Rolling,
will
rolling,
be
rolling.
judged. I like that one a lot. It's getting a lot more religious from Julie Chen Moonves. Now she's JC Moonves. So I
JC,
I found that.
I love
Yeah.
that.
So yeah. No, pretty much that's it. I'm glad it's almost over, Jamil. We're almost there. I can see the finish line just like Ian. JC
No
Chenbot.
spoilers today, but JC Chenbot, right? Hopefully we bring back this JC Chenbot thing. Oh, we have one more person joining us for the chat.
She liked the Nicole side clips, like at the beginning of the episode where she's like, "Yeah, that'd be a really good idea to take me to the end," where it just like cut to her talking about that. That was pretty good. The episode. That was fun.
Well, Amanda, thank you for joining us and providing that. Maybe s- come a little earlier and interact in the chat. I know you won't be on screen, but we appreciate you in the chat too. Thank you very much. We got one more, Daryl. Nicole and Christmas final two. The commish is locking it down. He's put his picks down. Um, he says that's what it is. We'll see.
That's it, yo.
Dave, who's your final two? That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
What's your
saying.
final two?
Oh my god, mine. Cody Nicole. I think I'm
Ooh.
I'm locking in my. I picked them right at the beginning, and I think it's gonna work out for me.
Um, I think it might be Enzo and Cody. I think it might be Enzo
Enzo.
and Cody.
I'll be surprised if Enzo sits in one of the final two chairs. I really will.
Um, we'll see. I also never put this on, which I supposed to, but as you can see, it's Big Brother 22 eviction reaction. Just so I say that I put it up there. Okay. Um, but yeah, we will see in a couple of hours um, who is exactly right and who is me, aka wrong. But we will see. Thank you for spending the time together and remember the golden rule.
Hmm. Those who judge will be judged.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Right?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. Well, it's one of the ones she said. I don't know if it
yeah,
was the golden. It might have been like the platinum, but it was a rule.
platinum. It was a rule. All right. Well, thank you and take care and good night.
Take care. Good night. Good luck.
Good luck.